You know, one of the figures that people often aim for whatever reason, is that holy grail of the $100,000 mark. For whatever reason, maybe it's been engraved into us by our parents, or maybe it's been engraved to us by society, or maybe it was just some of the conversations that we had coming up, regardless of your background, regardless of your pedigree. If you were in a public education system or if you were in a private education school system, at one point or another, you've probably thought to yourself, I want to make a six-figure income, whether that's $100,000 a year or $999,000. But for the most part, it usually starts at $100,000. Most people think if I can break $100,000, then I have got it made. Now, obviously, everyone's goal is different, and this isn't a video about happiness. This isn't a video about finding your true self. This is strictly a video of if you master these 6 skills that I am going to reveal to you, then this is going to help you improve not only how much money you make, your ability to keep this money, and your ability to multiply this money, which in my opinion is more important than just making this money. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first skill that you need to start paying attention to and sharpening, and that is your communication skills. Now, there's really more than one way to communicate. This is going to be your body language. This is going to be the way that you speak, the way that you articulate your words, even the way that you listen. Most people think that when we are talking about the art of communication, it's just about a public speaker, or it's someone in front of a large audience that is just writing down everything that they're saying. Or even you watching this video, you're probably thinking, this guy's a decent speaker. I can listen to him for the next couple of minutes. Or at least I would hope you would say that, right? You clicked on the video. But in all seriousness, being a good communicator is more about your ability to listen, your ability to digest, and then the ability to then put words together that is going to then reflect what information you just finished observing or absorbing of what that person just gave you. This usually happens in a sales conversation. This usually happens in relationships, that you can even take this advice with you to relationships. This even happens in social groups. Your ability to communicate, even when it comes to writing things down. If you're sending an email, you could be sending an email that's either going to make or break the deal that you're trying to close. You could be sending, or maybe even typing up a post right now that you're looking to put up on social media or for a marketing campaign, that if you perhaps don't put those words together the way that you should be, you could be costing yourself tens of thousands of dollars, or if maybe you're just starting out on a smarter scale, hundreds of dollars, because maybe you're not fully listening to what's being spoken by your audience and the message that you need to portray out there to them to be the solution for your client. And this leads us right into our second skill, which I think out of all those skills on here, maybe with the exception of one, you know what the heck, I think that this is going to be probably the most important skill on this list. And this is going to be your emotional EQ, or your emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence, which was really what most people call it. This is really going to be how you handle certain situations without getting too high and without getting too low, just kind of staying right in the middle, right? Have you ever been through maybe a situation in your business or maybe at your job, and all of a sudden you got some news, maybe you were overlooked for the position, or perhaps someone decided to ink a deal with someone else and they maybe bypassed you, right? They kind of went around you, they sidestepped you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, how did you handle that situation? You're probably down. You were probably depressed. Maybe you wanted to go out after work, or maybe later on when you clocked out, maybe you wanted to go out and grab a couple drinks, maybe abuse some substances. Look, there's no shame in that. Look, we've all been there when it comes to how we handle bad news. That's exactly why having your emotional intelligence up to a high level is going to help you process some of this bad news a lot better. It's going to help you with bouncing back the next day and getting your butt back to work. And ultimately, if you, let's say, are investing and you're not coming out on top like you wish you would have, it's also going to help you make smarter and sharper investments, because you're now emotionally unattached to what's going on. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but believe me, this is probably why I would go ahead and consider this, at least in my personal experience, when I first made my, let's say, $100,000 a year for my businesses. This right here was probably the part that really worked for me, because everything else came together because my emotions were in line. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's reading 15 minutes a day, whether it's meditating, whether it's getting your exercise, whatever gets you into that state is something that you want to double down on and stay in that state, because it's going to allow you to really bring everything else that we're talking about in this video together. Now, when it comes to this third skill here, this one takes some time to develop. You can say some people are born with it. I would maybe venture out to say that regardless of whether you think people are born with it or not, more often than not, we all have to develop this at one point or another just because of the way that we are taught. And this is critical thinking. For the most part, the majority of us are brought through the same education system. Obviously, some people maybe have a bit more of a benefit being able to learn from others, maybe in the business world. Maybe you had an uncle that brought you along, showed you the ins and the outs, showed you a P&L sheet, showed you about the stock market. But for the most part, most of us learn from the industrial age type of education, K through 12, that taught us the basics: read, write, and testing, right? But when it comes to critical thinking, though, critical thinking is important, because critical thinking allows you to go and uncover some of what we can call some of the truths that have really been blocked out from us to really be able to tap into that. Here's what I mean by that. Oftentimes, when we are entering into this stage of we want to grow our businesses or we want to scale our income, we often look at how someone else is doing it, and that must be the only way. This person taught it to me this way, so this must be the only way. And while I am a firm believer in don't try to reinvent the wheel, I also am a firm believer in questioning certain things with the process, because there are certain ways that you can do something that can maybe make you $100 a day. But if you shift that and maybe tweak it just a little bit, whether it's the email campaign that you send out, whether it's maybe the close that you attempt on a consumer or your client, or if maybe it's an extra resource that you can bring into a transaction, you can go from, let's say, making $100 a day to instantly making $1,000 a day, $10,000 a day, $10,000 a month, whatever your goal is if you're watching this video. And you're only going to tap into that if you develop your critical thinking skills and go beyond really kind of the shallow end and go more into the deep end when you are observing some of this information that you're being fed. We all have 24 hours in a day, so there's really no excuses for this one right here. And this is going to be time management. What time are you waking up every day? Are you waking up at the same time? Are you eating, let's say, at the same time? Are you answering emails at the same time? Are you posting on social media at the same time? Are you taking on client calls at the same time? What's your onboarding like if maybe you're handling new clients? What's maybe your meeting sequence like if maybe you're meeting with clients, whether that's in Zoom, depending in your area, or if that's in person? You see, time management is kind of like the glue to everything that we're talking about now, because if you don't have time management, then you won't have time to develop your emotional intelligence. In fact, it'll probably affect your emotional intelligence because you always feel like you're in a rush. If you're not properly managing your time, you'll also feel like you're never actually working on your business. You'll always feel like you're in the hamster wheel of working in your business. So setting that schedule aside of from this time to this time, let's say from 8 to 9, this is my time with my wife, this is my time with my kids. I have right now with my schedule, the way that I handle things is I like to shoot my videos anywhere between, let's say, a 11 a.m. to about a 1 p.m. on my time is usually when I'm recording videos. I will never, or at least I try to not take on any clients around that time. I try to not to answer the phone because I'm trying to get into the right space when I'm shooting these videos and I'm editing, as well as because I do some of this work myself and when I'm preparing for my videos. And then I also try not to have any other type of social media posting that I do, especially when I'm creating a YouTube video, because this takes a little bit more time to film, edit, make sure that it's right before publishing it. That's part of my schedule. That's part of my schedule that I just let you inside of. Now, from what I do from, let's say, 1 to, let's say, 9 p.m. is what I'm working on around my business. I kind of feel like working on YouTube or working in YouTube is the filming part, even though I enjoy it so much. But I also want to remember that there are other things happening around YouTube that I also need to pay attention to as my business continues to scale. So find out maybe when's your downtime, find out when you can perhaps take on more clients, find out maybe when you can maybe read those extra 15, 20 pages a day if you're looking to learn more about, let's say, investing, about the stock market, maybe get around a group, network more, right? Which is actually going to be our next skill that you're looking to sharpen here. Your network, and I know this is probably the most cliche thing that we can say, but it really is the truth. Your network is ultimately going to determine your net worth. Tell me the 5 closest people that you are hanging around with in proximity, and you can pretty much guess that person's net worth or what's in their bank account within a few $100. That's literally not an exaggeration. If you are hanging out with, let's say, and this is no shame to any type, you know what, I'll go ahead and put it on myself. I'm going to use myself as an example. If I'm hanging around with 5 other business owners and their channels are well over, let's say, 500,000 subscribers, I'm only at, let's say, 100,000 subscribers, right? What do you think is going to happen to my channel eventually? It's going to start growing, right? But what happens if I'm growing with people that don't believe in social media marketing, that don't believe in posting online, that feel that, you know, this is for the new age, or feel that you should be only face to face with your customers and this is the only way to do business? Well, guess what? I don't think that my channel is going to grow as rapidly as it should. And this is the same thing with you. Get around, if you are trying to invest in real estate, get around real estate investors. If you are trying to become a better speaker, get around better speakers than you. If you are maybe trying to break into a certain type of group or into a certain type of pedigree or class, or maybe if there's really no one in your area, look, social media makes the world such a smaller place. I would start sliding into people's DMs. I would start emailing people to see, hey, what value can I bring this person or this specific group that I want to be a part of? You also have Facebook groups. We have Clubhouse. I think at this point, there's really no excuses if you're looking to grow and really expand your horizons for you not to tap into some of the resources that are already out there for us to just go out and do a little bit of legwork and a little bit of research and go out and get after it. Now, last but not least, you'll make all of this money from having the right network, from time managing, from having your emotional intelligence in par, from developing yourself, to even, what do we have here, to communicating at a higher level. But none of this means anything unless, and I'm going to go ahead and put a big old asterisk next to this one, right? This is probably the second most important one, but it most likely is going to be the most important one when it comes to your business. And this is money management. How much money is coming in? How much money is going out? How much money are you spending for your business? How much money are you spending for your personal? How many credit cards do you currently have to your name? How many credit cards do you currently have on your business? Do you have an LLC? When was the last time that you had an audit with your taxes and you sat down with your CPA and you said, hey, look, I'm trying to find out every single area where I can try to pay the lowest amount of taxes for these items. When was the last time that you maybe sat down with an attorney, if you have an attorney? Hey, look, there's some legalities that I'm looking to maybe sharpen up in. Maybe I can pay for your time. Can I save more money in this area? Is this loophole legal? Can I maybe do this if I hire this person to maybe avoid paying this much in taxes? Can I do that? Obviously, this isn't legal advice. This isn't money advice for you, but this is at least what I can call an observation that I've noticed that people that have cracked 6 figures, and I will go ahead and put myself in that category. You're always questioning things. You're very good with managing your money, or at least you're attempting to get better with managing your money. You're very good with your time, or at least attempting to get better with your time. And notice what I said there. You're at least attempting. Stop allowing yourself to think that, look, this is who I am, this is what I do. That's a lie. You can always sharpen how much or how good you are with your money. You can always sharpen how much time you're wasting on things that don't deserve your energy. There's nothing wrong with cutting things out that don't deserve your energy, because at the end of the day, it's your energy preservation and that precision that's ultimately going to help you become a better business owner, a better entrepreneur, and a better person all around, that you are then going to reflect that energy to other people that are going to want to be around you, and then you're going to feed off of their positive energy. I know that sounds super deep, but it really is the truth. So there you have it. I hope that you found this video useful. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I want to hear your stories. If you've hit 6 figures, what that journey was like. Let me know down in the comments the type of businesses that you have. If you haven't done so already, hit me up over on my IG, over on my TikTok. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to join our exclusive member group, where we give you behind the scenes tools and resources that you can use on day one to help you out financially and in your business. I will leave the links to that down in the description. As always, I want to thank our sponsors over at Webull, where if you deposit $100, you'll get 4 free stocks valued up to $1,600 just for watching this video, as my token of appreciation to you. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, everyone, I will see you in the next video.